You ready?
Might have to call everybody after the show.
Rolling.
Yeah, we're going to have a meeting today.
Fredaloni's Hardware and Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1348. July 23rd, 2024. Record high on this day was 105 degrees.
What time?
I don't know. And that was in 1934. And the record low on this day was 47 degrees in 1976. I recall the old 70s as being somewhat on the cool side. Say, if you own a lake home or you have a pond on the property where the kids gather and jump in to go swimming, call Aquaside. They'll get rid of the eaves. They'll get rid of eaves too if you have eaves, but they'll get rid of leaves and algae and weeds and funk that you don't like. They have a complete line of lake and pond control products. The products are easy to use. They work quickly. Aquaside is registered with the EPA and DNR. These products are made right there in White Bear Lake. There's no need to let weeds overtake your lake or pond this summer. Call Aquaside, identify the problem. They'll help you and verify that problem and get you the right products. Call Aquaside at 1-800-328-9350 or go to aquaside.com.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
Yesterday I wondered, what in the world are ticks for? What do they accomplish? And Pete Sandberg writes, wild turkeys can eat up to 200 ticks a day. They're also eaten by birds, chickens, and of course, opossums. So there's your answer.
Opossums.
Opossums.
Oh, Canada.
Ticks are eaten by our fellow creatures.
Huh.
So that's that.
There we go.
Paul wants to know, is there an archive of GL broadcasts from AM 1500 anywhere that can be researched and played? I think he's talking about going way back and listening to radio shows. Is that possible?
Select episodes are, and I've even used this website for best ofs and whatnot, is radiotapes.com, which is a great website.
He's specifically looking for one or more of the bits on wives giving their husbands the look. I'd love to share with current friends and family after recalling how I had to pull over to the side of the road with tears in my eyes from laughter, looking to get reacquainted with you now via podcast. Thanks. Boy, it's been 6 years we've been on podcast, but a lot of people still don't know how
Making the adjustment.
Do you know what look was he referring to? The come hither look or the you're about to get your ass kicked look?
Well, there are a variety of looks.
Yeah, there are.
I don't have the book with me. The Garage Logic companion book. I see if there's one in my briefcase. I don't think there is.
Mostly the look I get is if you say one more word, you're in for it.
Yeah, I've gotten that. There's the burner. The burner is the last look before you essentially disintegrate.
Yes, that's the one, Joe.
Never mind, Reeves. I'll bring the book in someday.
She goes right from zero to the burner without any notice at all.
Yep. And that in the book that happened when I'll have to get the book.
The other look, the look we're all looking for is I'll drive by the house and look in the kitchen and she'll be in the window showing me something, giving me the look as I'm driving out of the driveway. That's when I get the look we all want. Yeah.
I'm not following that one.
I didn't think so. It's probably been years for you too.
Yeah. Because of climate change, the days are getting slightly longer.
Really?
I just thought I'd
Well, how does that sit with 21sters? I think they're getting shorter, actually.
I don't know what to tell you that as the temperatures rise, apparently we're losing ice, and that meltwater flows into the ocean. That redistributes the mass of water closer to the equator, with the planet thicker around the middle, its daily rotation takes a bit longer. You know what? This is an NPR piece. I don't believe it. Let me put it this way.
What do you got?
I don't believe it's a problem.
No, it's not.
Days are getting slightly longer is the headline, and it's due to climate change, by Lauren Summer. Okay, I'm not going to read it because I don't think it's a problem. Can I tell you something? How are you? The Secret Service head has resigned.
Yeah.
Cheatle. What's her first name?
Don.
Donna Cheatle?
No,
No.
What's her first name?
I'm pulling it up. It's
Kimberly.
Kim.
Kim Cheatle. One congressman told her to go back and guard Doritos. Apparently, she came from the Pepsi company. But I think prior to that, wasn't she with the Secret Service?
Yeah, she was with the Secret Service for a number of years.
Now, I'm unprepared. I'm not unprepared. Maybe I should be willing, but I appear to be unwilling to go down the conspiracy road, as many people are, believing that this was a direct attempt on Trump's life. In fact, I work with a fellow here.
Yep.
Who happens to believe that.
Join me in Tinfoil Alley. I have the audio that I was speaking of from Representative Fallon, if you'd like that.
Sure, go ahead.
It's 3 minutes long.
And this is to what are we to learn here?
Well, you'll hear it.
All right.
I think it's worth playing.
It's as telling as it is chilling. We have satellite images from the Butler Fairgrounds. Have you visited the site?
No, I have not.
9 days and you have not visited the site. You should have been there that night. Did you talk to that evening? Did you talk to the team, the heroes that surrounded the president? Did you call them that night?
They were still operational work.
So that's an answer is no. Did you call them the next day?
President. Yes, I spoke with
You
them.
called them the very next day, not the day of, or was it 72 hours after?
I don't know the timeline, but I spoke with
Okay,
them
because you're under oath.
immediately
I
following.
think it was 72 hours after you waited 3 days. What is immediately clear is that there are a number of structures that need to be secured. Of these, Director, other than the first, immediate four, what's the most dangerous site that should have been secured? Because security 101, you got to mitigate the high ground.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what the next most dangerous site? What was the closest structure to the president, other than the four immediate ones that you had your counter sniper teams on?
There are a number of structures around that event site.
You know who the shooter knew? The shooter has visited the site 2 more times than you have, and he had a drone, and he picked the AGR building. So you said, do you remember in an ABC interview you did that you didn't have people on the roof of the AGR building because you were worried about safety because of the slope?
I recall that statement.
Okay. Does the Secret Service have written policy you can share with us about slope roofs?
No.
So why'd you act like there was one? Because is it your practice to comment on enormous events of enormous national implications when you're ignorant of the facts? That's rhetorical. So here's this thing with the slopes. You go all up to like 1812. You can go to a 112, which is about as flat as you can get without it being completely flat. And you're saying that there was a danger, safety concern there. But the problem is, Director, you put your counter snipers on a 312 roof, which is steeper than the 112. And by the way, the 112 is ADA compliant. You can build a ramp for a wheelchair on a 112 roof. So these are nothing but pathetic excuses, and they make no sense, and they're a bunch of cow dung. All the law enforcement I've spoken with over the last 9 days are amazed that the AGR rooftop was not secure. And you want to know why? Because it's dangerous. I have never had any long gun training in my life. I own an AR-15, and last time I shot it one time my whole life. It was 6 years ago. That is until Saturday, where we recreated the events in Savoy, Texas. We recreated what happened in Butler. I was lying prone on a sloped roof at 130 yards at 6:30 at night. And I knew that he had a scope. I didn't know what kind, red dot or magnified. So I shot 8 rounds from both. You know what the result was? 15 out of 16 kill shots. And the one I missed would have hit the president's ear. That's a 94% success rate. And that shooter was a better shot than me. It is a miracle President Trump wasn't killed. Corey Comparatore life is over because that damn shooter made it on the roof. And it wasn't the roof that was dangerous. It was a nut job on top of the roof. You know what else is dangerous? I believe your horrifying ineptitude and your lack of skilled leadership is a disgrace. Your obfuscating today is shameful, and you should be fired immediately and go back to Garden Doritos. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
All right. Every time I want to say that I've never heard either Republicans or Democrats be this hard on somebody in congressional testimony. Every time I think that, then I check myself and I realize, well, yeah, but they're talking about an attempted assassination, which would explain their fury, right? But even AOC was furious. And
Hostile, I would say.
And said things that were very un-AOC like.
Well, I don't remember.
But good for her.
Yeah, I don't remember who said it, but basically it was, well, this could be any of us. If you're this incompetent at your job, it could be one of us that's next.
But really, they really went after her with ferocity, and which I thought was refreshing. But this poor sap, she caught wrath like no one has ever caught wrath. I did a quick mental rundown, and I can't come up with anybody who's been grilled that ferociously. Maybe there has been, but
I don't know.
Were the comms really erased? Is that true? Because I've read they have been erased.
Comms being communications.
Yeah, all the radio communications before and after the shooting.
I did read that, Ken, but I don't know what to believe or trust with that kind of, you know what I mean? I have no idea if what's true and what's not anymore.
I have a hard time getting on your conspiracy yacht, Chris.
That's fine. There'll be room for you guys once you come to your senses.
Well, here's something interesting to ponder. Now that she resigned, will this be dropped?
Well,
in other words, if there's something to get to the bottom of, will it be gotten?
I would hope so.
Or does this now just all go away? A new head of the agency comes in.
Well, I guess the question would be, were they following policy? If the policy is to have local law enforcement cover those areas and they followed it, I guess heads won't roll. If they purposely ignored that rooftop and deviated from policy, I'm guessing somebody's going to get in a lot of trouble.
So
we just don't know yet.
Sorry, Ken. The previous audio that you heard was Patrick Fallon. He's a member of the Republican Party, an American businessman who holds the congressional district of Texas's 4th congressional district. Excuse me, I forgot to mention who that was. There's another piece of audio I'd like to play, and maybe this will convert you guys into Conspiracy Corner. But this is Representative Lisa McClain. She is from Michigan. This is 2 minutes of her grilling. Cheatle.
You keep referring to the FBI. When asked how many shell casings were on the roof, you referred to the FBI. When asked if there were explosives in the car, you referred to the FBI. When asked if Crooks was acting alone, you referred to the FBI. See a common theme here? I can go on and on. My question is, who at the FBI should I speak with? Wait for it. Wait for it.
The FBI is responsible for the criminal
Is there a name?
I'm not certain.
I'm not certain.
Who
All
at
right,
the
here we go.
FBI
I'm
is
not
running the
certain. I
investigation.
don't know. Let me ask a different question. Have you been in communication with the FBI?
Yes, I have.
With whom?
I speak with the director and the deputy director.
Okay. And what have they shared with you about this investigation? So I'll give you an opportunity to answer again. Did they share with you how many shell casings were on the roof?
They have shared with me the.
Did they
evidence they've
share with you how many shell casing were on the roof?
Yes.
Okay. How many were there?
I would refer to the FBI for their
How
investigation
many were there?
and their information that they need to share in their investigation.
So they've shared the information with you. You just don't want to share the information with us, correct?
We have concurrent investigations that are going on.
So they have shared this information with you. You know the answer to the question. You just refuse to answer the question from the member of Congress who has subpoenaed you to be here. Is there a different answer to that question?
I was always willing to come here and testify before this oversight hearing.
Beautiful. Then let's
Wasn't
do
a-
that.
it was
Let's
necessary.
for once have your actions match your words. So you've been in communication with the FBI. You know the answers and you refuse to tell us the answers. So I will ask you again. You know how many shell casings were on that roof. What is the answer to that question?
I think it's pertinent.
What
to talk-
is the answer to that question?
I think it's pertinent to talk to you about the information that the Secret Service has and that the Secret Service knows related.
I'm
to the
asking
events
you
on
an
that day.
answer to the question. If you're supposed to be in charge, if the buck stops with you, how come you can't share the answers? What are you covering up? What are you hiding, my friend?
I'm not covering anything else.
Then why can't you answer a simple question?
I would leave it to the criminal investigation to answer questions related to that.
What's the problem with her answer? I don't understand the problem with her
I don't
answer. I
either.
thought that lady was hostile and out of order. What party does she represent? Is she a Republican?
I believe, yes, she is, the 9th district.
We need to hear some audio from some Democrats. That was, I thought that was
Well,
way out of line.
But I guess the what I took from it was, why aren't you answering it? What are you trying to hide?
I have a better question.
Okay.
Kenny might have to be the one to answer it. Why is it important to know how many shell casings were on the roof?
Well, I think that is an important question.
All the shell casings on the roof would have come from the shooter's weapon, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
The ones that, that are still laying there. Right. Just to establish how many shots he took, and then you go out into the area where those shots landed and match them up. I mean, it's all just part of an investigation.
So
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, so if the number of shell casings didn't match the number of shots that we've already been told, then you'd have a conspiracy, or not a conspiracy, but you'd have
You'd have a story.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess that's why I found it interesting, Ken, that she refused to answer the question.
I mean, shouldn't we subpoena the FBI? Shouldn't they be yelling at the FBI?
Sure.
I mean, I think a lot of America on both sides of the aisle think that the FBI has been compromised by politics
And
for
as
a
she said,
long time.
and as she said, it's the FBI's investigation. Let them come and answer. I don't think she should speak for the FBI.
Yeah.
So
Go after
didn't-
the FBI. I thought that whole line of questioning was absurd and angry and way out of line for that particular lady.
And again, this woman is facing, she faced furious questioning that I've never seen before from both sides.
But okay, so then to answer Kenny's earlier question, when you're subpoenaed to that with a story like this, aren't you somewhat obligated to answer, or is it you're just trying to protect your own?
I don't know that answer.
My answer to that would be,
because you're under oath.
I can see no reason why she couldn't answer that question.
But that's the road people will go down, myself included, is, well, why aren't you answering it? Why? That seems like a simple question to answer.
We see this in cases all the time, all the way down to on the local level. You know, nobody will answer any questions until the investigation is completed.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, the question absolutely should be answered, but God, can we be a little gracious? Do we have to interrupt her? Can we let her finish?
There's no graciousness left in the political world.
No.
how about Nancy Mace yesterday? Yikes!
Oh, that was.
You're full of.
That was hostile. I've never heard language like that coming out of the
beyond.
Capitol.
Once you drop the first S-bomb, shouldn't you have your mic shut off? I mean, there was a couple.
There's no graciousness left.
Well, Marjorie was pretty gracious yesterday.
What did that crackpot say?
I didn't even waste time watching it because I knew
She
She was wearing glasses though, so
kind of hot.
She just told her to resign, basically, and in between, she told her how
Was it kind of a
was.
hot for teacher thing with the glasses on?
Anything part of the storm.
take a swing.
Oh.
Forget the fact that she's beyond no-go zone.
Oh my God.